Behind this iconic bridge, I have a friend who's going to join us for an exciting chat about beauty, technology, and transformation. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Nihal. I lead the digital native business for Redis in India. And welcome to this special episode where we are going to talk about a brand, Purplle, a brand which has redefined personal care and beauty in India. And today joining me is Vivek Parihar. Vivek has been instrumental in defining the journey of Purplle in India. But first, let me give him a quick call to know where he is waiting for us. Hey Vivek.
Hey, hi Nihal.
Vivek, I'm driving through Atal Setu. Where are you waiting for us?
I'm waiting at Purplle Lake.
Awesome. I'll pick you up soon.
Sure. Okay. Hello.
Hey Vivek, I have reached your location. Where are you?
So I'm standing next to lake in front of a bungalow. Downward there's a big tree, right? So
Oh yes. Oh yes, I can see you. Hi there. Hi Vivek.
Hi.
Open. Hi Vivek.
Hi Nihal.
So Vivek, you have been part of Purplle since quite some time and you have been instrumental in the journey of Purplle. So could you let us know what exactly you do in Purplle?
First of all, thank you Nihal. It's great to be here. So I'm Vivek Parihar, Head of Engineering at Purplle. I predominantly look at for the tech innovation at here as well as the led AI and data practices with a scalability of infrastructure and everything, right? So when we talk about tech, that's what I take care of it, right?
And that's super interesting, and I must have to admit Purplle has become a very known brand in every household now, especially in tier 2 cities. I'm also interested to know what is the mantra behind Purplle? What are the problems that you're trying to solve today?
So Purplle mission is to make democratize the beauty, right? To make affordable, accessible and available to each and every Indian customer, okay? So with this mission, right, what happened, we figure out that there's a masses of Indian women especially, they are underserved from the high quality product, right? We talked about all these masses lived in the greater part of the Bharat, which is tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? So that's where the opportunity clicked in, and we definitely want to scale or tap into this problem using tech innovation, right? So that's where the whole journey started. Now the innovation always revolve around like two things, right? It's always start with the product and tech with AI and data centric approach, right?
Right.
The second part is like definitely like localization and a search, right? So you get the discovery part of it, right? So localization, all the influencer marketing campaigns that made today always keep in mind regional taste and preferences, right?
Okay.
To make sure that we are reaching the right audiences, as well as it is helping my consumer to consume the content in their own regional language, which definitely resonate to them, right?
Right.
Now, once you come to the platform, we definitely want to expand this experience in their own local language. So we also launch our application, enable our application with a one app, right? So you can see everything in your own language, you can search, you can browse, right? And you can shop as well, right? Now the next thing is like once you come to the platform, discovery is one part of it. In a discovery, the search becomes one a very important aspect, right?
Right.
So that's where we also enabled our GenAI capabilities, semantic search, which powered with a one app, right? You can search in your own language, right? Now, last part is omnichannel experience.
Right.
Be it online, be it offline, you are gonna get always a seamless experience for the checkout, from the post and past a checkout process, right? With this, it's always help the consumer to be on platform and consume the content in a manner which help them to really understand what this product is all about, right?
Got it.
So with these three pillars, we definitely we are doing day in day out all this innovation, right? And whatever we try to do, we always try to fit into these three buckets, right? Because data become primary forte for anything, for everything. We try to take a decision, and from there we try to scale up, right?
Got it.
And whenever we do, we try to do a personalization in that, and the personalization at a scale.
I mean, it's super interesting to have your view on what differentiator that Purplle is bringing, right? How you're changing the life of your customer, and how customer obsessed your company and you guys are, right? Because you're tracking every step of the customer. So, as a next step, let's go to your store.
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. The store looks fantastic, Vivek.
Thank you, Neha.
Great. And how does the typical buyer journey happens on your website?
If we talk about the journey, it's very a typical hybrid approach, right? So it never started from the application, right? Because we are very, in marketing also, we are very hyper personalized at what we try to target and what kind of customer we try to target. From there, it could be from the, it could be the Instagram, it could be YouTube videos that we have, it could be the Google search, right? Because we know what, from which particular the channel that consumer is coming, right? And they always come from a one particular concern. So with that, we personalize the whole homepage from that concern that consumer is coming from, and within the whole market interaction that consumer is doing over the platform. Then we keep personalizing within a journey itself, within a discovery session itself, see what make best for the consumer, right?
Right. So I think one of the key takeaways that I understand from what you explained is, for you, the customer journey is also very important and they get the right kind of experience on your website. But as you're scaling up, right, you have millions and millions of active monthly users on your website. How challenging it is to provide them the right kind of experience? How you scale up with these many active users?
With the technology, right? So technology plays a very vital role here, right? And for us, scaling is just not about the scaling the traffic, right? So that's one of the very misnomer with the technology folks as well, right? I want to build for the scale, right? So it's more towards how we definitely build a system which is more reliable. It execute in a speed as well as personalization at the scalers, right? So that is one of the very primary de facto. And keeping all this in mind, right? When we started redesigning the whole system, right? That's a very strong belief. If you have a right architecture in place, right? The whole journey of scaling become very easy, right? Then everything can be built on top of the building block that you have within a system, right? But we always keep a very keen eye when we're designing it. If you did a design right, I think 50% of your job is done for the scaling part of it, right? So, and that's a very de facto for my team as well, right? Whenever you want to do something, you always need to fetch all this information from the cache. Don't talk to the database directly. So these are some of the guardrails that we set while developing the application. And on top of it, we also made sure that the whole infra part of it, we don't handle it by ourselves. Right? We definitely want to go for the enterprise services. Like that's where you guys also come into picture, right? We definitely want to reinvent it, right? Let the expert handle what they are good at it. We definitely want to focus on building a business use case and building my solving the problems which my consumer is facing.
I mean, I can assume scaling and running a business like Purplle, you guys must have faced a lot of hurdles, right? And it is not that easy. So I'm curious to understand, what are the key challenges that you faced before you moved to Redis Enterprise, right? Prior, whatever that you were using in your technology stack, what were the key reasons that drove you for choosing Redis Enterprise?
So before that, like I just give you a little glimpse like what we are talking about from the perspective of scale, right?
Right.
Currently, we are trying at 10.5 to 10 million MAU, right? And in a month, we are generating 90 billion data points, right? On a CRM perspective, the amount of CRM that we are sending 750 million CRM to other consumers, right? It could be SMS, it could be PNs or emails, right? So in total number, right? So to really make sure that we are in line with this whole strategy, right? So the scaling becomes a very primary forte, right? And before the Redis, then what happened? Like we usually struggle a lot when the sale is going to come into picture, right? So that's how do you auto scale your system when it's required, right? What happened? Like usually what happened in general tide, people end up scaling way before when the event is going to happen, right? Which is very waste of resources as well as time, and somebody need to check it, do it, right? So what if we can have an auto scalable solution? That's one of the biggest problems. Second is your the reliability part of it. What if something goes wrong, how do you make sure that your system is back within a second? Because my fallback is already based on the Redis itself, right? So if that is not working, so it's a problem for me, right? And the lastly is like the business logic implementation. The pricing engine and my inventory, they are a key to my business, right? And when I talked about the inventory, so we have more than 60,000 products right now, and like more than 10 warehouses running at the different location, right? For each and every location, we have a different inventory, which is based on tenant as well, because we are serving stores, we are serving online customers as well, we are serving quick customers, right? So these are different tenants. We end up having a lot more all these the inventory sync issues as well as pricing updates. The frequent pricing updates not reflecting the platform on the right time, right? So these are some of the nuances that we face before moving to Redis. And a cherry on top of it, all my user session management, right, is always going for the toss, because when I talk about like 10 million MAU, right, it's a huge, because and these are cross device. It is just not one device, right? So that's one of the very important challenges we are facing before moving to Redis.
And how does Redis then become your integral part of the solution? So I'm also interested to know how you are using Redis in some creative way, right? Because Purplle is known to solve problem with technology. So if you could share something around that, that will be.
So I just give you a number for the pricing engine that we built on top of the Redis as one of the very important component for it, right? All my pricing updates, right? In a daily operation, we do 60 to 90,000 operations on the pricing. This is just a everyday nuance that I'm talking about. Because these are 60,000 product or that product, it is for different SKUs, different segment, different tenant. So very much complex, right? So to give the pricing at really fast speed, and also if my team want to update this pricing, it should reflect to the platform on a just click of it. It's a challenge, right? And then this challenge goes on toss when the sale comes. It scale up to 300,000 operations per second. So that's the scale I'm talking about. These are price updates and the reads operation might happen in parallel, right? So that's where the Redis come into picture. We designed the whole solution on top of it. It is scaled the way we wanted it to scale it up. It always scale it in that way. It could be horizontal, it could be vertical as well. So I think one of the very important aspects that we are able to utilize is the Redis cluster, right? And Slaves is not it's out of the box solution, but Redis clustering is one of the very important aspects where we can definitely dissect my workload to all these clusters, right? And that's where my application is able to really consume all this information from different places. The next part is we are a very heavy user of the hyper personalization. And for that, all my results for the personalization come from the Redis itself. So when we talk about the personalization, that means we need to do it on a scale as well as it need to be on a very limited time frame, right? So hyper personalization is not a personalization that it works on, okay, for these kind of bucketed user, you do this. I'm talking about one-on-one personalization, like that this is just for you only.
Right, and this is a super exciting industry, like you mentioned, right, and which is innovating very fast. So, Vivek, as per you, what are the next few exciting trends that you see that might come up in the industry? And as per you, what role the Redis enterprise would play in that?
Let me first talk about like what a trend that is already happening and we are already a part of it, right? So, when you walk in a store, there's already the magic mirror. The moment you go to that particular magic mirror, it can definitely scan your skin and tell you what kind of skin conditioner you have, right? Give you the full walkthrough for that. Then also you can try on the application, which is an AR VR. So AR and VR is going to play a very vital role in a beauty industry, because that really gives you a next step where you can definitely do the look and feel part of done, right? Where you definitely don't want to try something physically, you can do it on the online as well, right? Second part is like, because this is a category where people also love to see how the demonstration is working, right? So creating a lot more of this video content is very important. And you don't believe we have our own 3 channels. We have more than 8 million views over to that within a week's time, right? And we are creating all this content using our own GenAI platform that we developed, right? And now we are targeting to the next phases, how we can definitely use this information, all these GenAI platform to create a video itself. So we are going to create all these content on the fly. So let's say we have been creating like thousands of video in a day. the small videos for my consumer, which makes sense for my consumer, which is very personally targeted, what you might be looking, what your skin condition and everything, right? So that's where the industry is going, and we are already working toward that. And the Redis is play a vital role because we definitely want to make sure that we are always skating at a scale at very fast speed, right? So these two aspects, I think Redis is gonna play a very vital role for us. The speed and at a scale, right? So these two things need to be worked in conjunction. Then only you can definitely be successful in any implementation, right? And lastly, we definitely see a Redis towards a more reliable solution because till now, within 2.5 years of journey, right, we never see a single the hiccup which can definitely impact my customer journey. Touch wood for that. Yeah. So that's where we saw that Redis can play a very vital role for us.
No, and thank you, Vivek, for sharing the vision. And before we wrap up, right, if you have to define your journey with Redis Enterprise in one line, what that would be?
I would say it is reliable and resilient with the name, with the service, and with the people itself, and a trustworthy brand, right? And I think with the dev community, Redis is just not a name; it's a brand. So we definitely would love to always like to be in that mind itself.
Thank you, Vivek. Here's to more milestones and innovations ahead.